What's going on, guys? It's your boy Tillman, and I have been missing in action from some of my Tillman takes recently, and it's only because I've been out of town. But I am back in town, and I'm back to give you guys the content that you guys want. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Ryan Tillman, real talk, it's the truth.
So today, guys, what I want to do is I want to talk about a video that's been going viral. This is a video out of Arkansas where police officers contact a subject who allegedly spit on an employee or a patron of this establishment. And then when they get there, they contact them, and it just goes downhill real quick. So let's take a look at the video, and then we'll go ahead and break it down. I'm going to go ahead and play it. All right, so it looks terrible. Now, I made an initial Instagram video. I did a reel, and I basically said that at first glance, it looks excessive. I said I want to hear the backstory to it. And so some people question, why do I even want to hear the backstory? Why should I need to hear the backstory? And something that just looks plain as day, it looks excessive as excessive gets. Here's why. There are very, very, very few times where I will watch a video and I can give you guys an opinion that I believe is true that actually happened in real life. One of those situations was the George Floyd situation. I didn't really need much to watch to know that it was unjustified use of force by the officers. I mean, there was no excuse for kneeling on a person's neck for 8 hours or eight minutes. I'm sorry. And so the question becomes, is this another one of those rare things that occurs where we don't really need much other context to say whether or not these officers are wrong? I don't think it is. Now, don't get me wrong. That's not saying that this is not excessive force. This could absolutely be excessive force. But the only reason I say I want more context is because what makes this different from the George Floyd situation is when George Floyd was on the ground, he's laying there, he's not moving, he's basically exhausted himself, and he keeps on saying, I can't breathe, and the officer continues to keep his knee on his neck and doesn't try to render any type of aid. It was just deplorable. And so in that situation, you don't really need much more. But in this situation, you have officers that are clearly wrestling with this guy to try to take him into custody. Now, the reason it looks excessive is because I don't see why an officer needs to slam a person's head up against the pavement. I don't see why officers need to continue to beat until they gain compliance. But there could be something that we don't see. There could be the fact that this guy may have a gun on him, that he may have a weapon on him. Now, I do know that they arrested this guy. There were no weapons charges, so my belief is they didn't arrest him for any weapons. But the part that we don't see is the initial contact, the initial interaction. Did they believe this guy had a weapon? Was he reaching in his pockets? We don't know. And so, like I said before in my Instagram video, it is very, very likely that this could be excessive force. No doubt about it. It looks bad on all accounts, but we got to wait. The reason I say we got to wait is because if you remember the Jacob Blake situation that I posted about a long time ago, when the officer shot Jacob Blake 7 times as he looked like he was getting in a car, when all the facts came out, it found out the officer was completely justified. And that looked as bad gets, especially in that situation, because they shot him 7 times. And so all I'm saying is let's just wait to see the rest of the facts. There's a high likelihood that this might be excessive force, but we can't jump to conclusions. It's only on very rare occasions that I will come out on a limb and say that the officers were unjustified in using this level of excessive force. I want to go back to the video one more time because, again, there's a part that I want to talk about that I'm going to find a hard time seeing how these officers are going to justify their actions. Let's watch it one more time. Right there. So the officer slams his head into the ground. I don't know why that's, unless you have reason to utilize deadly force, I don't see why you would slam an individual's head into the ground like that. I just don't. I've never trained like that. The only thing I've been trained to do is if you have reason to utilize deadly force, you do what you got to do to stop the threat. But was this one of those situations? I don't know if it was. And these officers are going to have to make an account of why they did what they did. And so, again, at face value, no doubt about it, it appears to be excessive. But that doesn't mean that we can fully come out and say, no doubt about it, this is excessive use of force, it's not reasonable, and therefore the officer should be charged and fired. We can't say that yet because the investigation is not over. So that's my 2 cents. I want to know what you guys have to think down in the comment section. Do me a favor, leave a like button, leave a subscribe button if you like the content I bring to you. And with that being said, God bless, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Ryan Tillman, real talk, it's the truth.